Breaking news, guys! We have some breaking news about the newest Transformers live action movie that's coming in 2020, and I have my P helmet back. Yay! So I was doing a Starscream video talking about all the times he betrayed the Megatron and the Decepticons in the live action movies, comics, toys, games, and so on. Then this huge bombshell of news just dropped, so I figured I'd cover it. Oh, in case you guys are interested, I also found myself a Constructicon scrapper. I think that's his name. I don't memorize the Constructicon names because some of them look pretty generic, but this guy looks cool. He's gonna be reworking the trench for Studio Series, I bet you that. But anyways, now for the news you guys been waiting for. We officially have a director for the Transformers 2022 movie, and it's none other than Steven Caple Jr. Now, if you're like me and you don't memorize celebrities or movie directors, then this guy you probably don't know much about, because from what I can see, he is an up-and-coming director. Kind of like how Marvel gets, up-and-coming directors to direct their movies. I feel like Hasbro sort of doing that with Transformers 2, trying to give people like him, up-and-coming talent a chance. And I think that's a smart move, because if you get someone that's ambitious and up and coming, I think they're willing to put more effort into making sure their movies are great so they can stand out more than someone who's already popular and famous. I could be wrong, and that also depends on the person themselves, but this guy seems fairly good. Now, he directed a couple of movies, some that I don't recognize, like Bush Baby, The Land of Misfits, A Different Tree. But one of the movies that he gets acclaimed for the most is Creed 2. Now, I honestly don't know much about Creed 2, I just heard that it was really good, and that I think it's connected to the Rocky universe. He has a 7.1 IMDb, 83% Rotten Tomatoes, and Metacritic 66%. But you know how critics are. The critics also thought that The Last Jedi was fabulous. Critics also think Cuties is a masterpiece of art, when no, it's not. The movie is one of the very few things, I should say, that Twitter should actually go ahead and cancel, which is a shame that they haven't already. But anyways, politics aside, we have an article from Deadline which basically reported on this and told us the whole info, so I'm gonna read it and then I'm gonna share my thoughts on this. Following a lengthy search, Paramount Pictures and Hasbro Studios have set Steven Caple Jr. to direct the new Transformers pick in the Reinvent the Universe. He's talking about the Bumblebee movie, because the B movie started a new universe and we're not gonna go back to the Babers. If any of you guys are still thinking that, no, it's not gonna happen, we're never gonna go back to it. If we ever go back to it, it's just gonna be in comics. And that's putting it at best. Insiders add, while negotiations have yet to begin, he's the top choice among studio exes and producers, and a deal should close in the coming weeks. After meeting with several top executives, including Paramount Motion Pictures president Emma Watts, studio saw Caple as the best fit for the franchise that the studio chose to revamp at the top of the year. In January, the studio made the decision to give the entire Transformers franchise a revamp by having two simultaneous scripts that are in active development, one by James Vanderbilt and one by Joby Harold. Harold's film eventually will be chosen as the next installment in the franchise, and once he had given his final touches on the script at the end of the summer, the studio began taking director pitches on the next film. Now, the next movie we're getting is a sequel to Bumblebee. Now, the question is it gonna be straight up Bumblebee 2, a continuation of Bumblebee's story, after he separated from Charlie and so on? Or when they mean Bumblebee 2, are they talking about a mainline Transformers movie, plural, it's not just Bumblebee Center? Because the B movie, Bumblebee Center. A Transformers movie is typically Transformers / action, human center. So we still not sure about that. It's definitely gonna take place in the reboot, but we just don't know if B is gonna be the start once again, or if we're gonna get more Transformers this time around. Unfortunately for some people, the Beast Wars script has been put to the side. They're done with the Beast Wars script and they're done with the B script, the sequel script, whatever you want to call it. So Hasbro went ahead and decided to go with the B movie script for the next movie. So putting the Beast Wars thing on the side. Now, I actually sort of predicted this. I said that, as much as I like Beast Wars and as much as I want a live action Beast Wars movie, the problem with Beast Wars is that, number one, it will be very expensive, and number two, it's kind of risky if you think about it. Beast Wars, when it was first conceived of, it was because Transformers was kind of on a downhill after G2. So they decided to basically put a reboot on the franchise and reinvent things. That's why we got Beast Wars. The Beast Wars era basically saved Transformers. It was out of desperation, and it worked. It paid off at the end. So I think Beast Wars is something that's gonna be put on the side, not because it's bad or anything, it's just because, well, Hasbro's afraid of taking risk. You can see that on the toys, you can see that on the games, you can see that on some of the movies. Well, most of the movies, with the exception of the B movie. Hasbro's afraid of taking risk, and I think they're gonna use the War for Cybertron Kingdom series to determine whether audiences are interested in a Beast Wars movie. Because remember, the Netflix series is basically supposed to be the next mainline big event for Transformers while we wait for the movies. So my guess is that they're gonna use the Kingdom franchise as a way to put Beast Wars on the public eye, to put it on the spotlight. And depending on how they react, they're either gonna go ahead with the Beast Wars movie, or they're not gonna go ahead with the Beast Wars movie. So the Beast Wars movie future depends on how good War for Cybertron Kingdom does. That's my personal opinion. It's not confirmed or anything. I'm just saying that if I were a Hasbro executive, that's what I would do. Transformers has been one of Paramount's biggest draws since the franchise was launched in 2007, grossing more than $4 billion worldwide over 5 films. Following the release of 2017's Transformers The Last Night, director Michael Bay parted ways with the series to focus on new original material. After that, the studio decided to do a full revamp of the property. It's starting with a writer's room that will develop multiple ways to pursue a new film, leading to 2018's Bumblebee. Campbell is best known for directing the sequel to Creed 2, starring Michael B. Jordan. He's read by WME and United Entertainment. And that's about it. That's a bit of a weird way to end the article, but yeah. Steve Campbell Jr. is not like a huge director. He's fairly known because of Creed 2, and Creed 2 was a very character-centered film, and a lot of people who watched the movie have told me that they really liked it and that they're really excited for this guy to take on the Transformers franchise. Now, since this guy is like very heavily focused into characters, my guess is that the B sequel is gonna follow on the same footsteps as the B movie. We're gonna see characters with actual personality, and when I mean characters, I mean the robots, of course, because those are the only characters we care about. So yeah, good stuff. I'm actually kind of excited for it. He hasn't been made the official director yet, but he's so far Hasbro's top pick for the next direct for the 2022 Transformers movie, which, knowing them and considering the Transformers is a big franchise, I feel like this guy is pretty much, straight up confirmed to direct the next movie, unless he backs down or something and like they had to find a new director, in which case I'll probably report on it as soon as we get like an official confirmation. But yeah, it looks like they're pretty much done with the script right now. They're looking for directors, and as soon as we get a director on board, they're gonna start filming and stuff, and we can start seeing which characters are gonna appear in the movie. But yeah, things are progressing quite quickly, like quicker than I expected. I expected another year than just looking for a director, but it looks like they're like speeding things up, which could be a good thing and could be a bad thing, because A means we get the movie faster, but B, it could also mean that the movie might end up being rushed. But they have 2 years until June 2022 to do all of this, so I'm actually not that worried. I'm like, that's more than enough time to make a pretty good movie. Like, movies usually take 2, maybe 3 years to make, so there's plenty of time. Like, it's not reason to go into panic mode yet, but I just hope that they don't rush this, and I just hope that they give the Autobots and Decepticons the respect they actually deserve and pretty decent character interpretations. Shadow and Dropkick were amazing Decepticons, and in the B movie, even though we only saw a few Autobots and they have very little screen time, you sort of could get what they were all about from their small bit of screen time, which is something that I hope the follow-up to the B movie ends up doing. So yeah, fingers crossed. Steven Campbell Jr., I swear, if you end up being another Michael Bay, I'm going to smack your ass. But anyways guys, before we go, shout out to our patrons, Trueblue712, Stitch Productions, Stephanie Ballard, Christopher Prime, Predakin Hunter Plays, Mario Gordon, and the absolute madman himself, Jordan the Great, who donated $100. Thanks a lot to you guys. I tipped my fedora in gratitude. The link to their channels and our Patreon are gonna be in the description and in the comments down below. Make sure to go check out their channel. Some of these guys do pretty cool content, and if you guys want to shout out your subs, all you have to do is donate to our Patreon. By donating to our Patreon, you get quite a few rewards. You can collab with me in some of my videos, you get exclusive roles on my Discord server, you can request your own videos, maybe even appear in some of my videos if you so choose, and I'm adding more rewards as time goes on. So yeah, it's a pretty good deal. But keep in mind that it is completely optional, because freedom is the right of all sentient beings. So yeah, thank you guys for donating, it's much appreciated, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.